Halo Infinite just released worldwide. Hey, it's Maverick, nice to meet ya, and I'll be diving into the very much awaited Halo Infinite. Spoiler warning, there's gonna be some brief spoilers about the game, including story bits, gameplay, and multiplayer. The game actually starts in a very chaotic way. It starts with the Infinite ship being attacked by the Banished. Master Chief is kicking total ass in this scene, and honestly watching Master Chief lose a fight is honestly the most weirdest but most imposing thing and scariest thing you could ever see. Master Chief almost never loses a fight against anybody. So watching him being defeated by a Banished is like the most terrifying thing ever. So then the game transitions to a pilot that has been stranded in the battle for like months now, and out of coincidence he just finds Master Chief floating around the space. He's able to awaken him, and Master Chief right away gets back to work and he infiltrates a ship that he learns later on in the game. He actually learns in that ship that Zeta Halo has already been taken over by the Banished. But then he does get a signal in which eventually it just turns out to be a message, and he tries to decrypt it, I guess. But he's not able to, so what he does is he finds the signal from where the message is coming from, and he follows it, in which he believes the signal came from a place where I guess the supposed AI called the weapon is at. So he goes to retrieve the weapon in order to be able to have some help against the Banished, and also to be able to locate Cortana, because at this point in the game it is implied that Cortana has been loose for a while now, and nobody actually knows where Cortana is. Throughout the game, Chief actually gets to bond with the AI he has now, and honestly she feels like another Cortana, but at the same time you do get the feeling that it's not Cortana. Afterwards, the game actually pushes you into the open world aspect that the game has, and it's honestly so glorious. You get to explore Zeta Halo and other outposts inside it. Secret locations and outposts actually do give a lot of rewards, very powerful weapons. And they also added the inclusion of bosses now.
Escherum's orders are that you should be brought before him. He did not specify in how many pieces.
I know that bosses have been included before, but for some reason the bosses now feel more like a Dark Souls type of thing rather than a Halo type of thing. I very much enjoyed this because honestly, all throughout Halo 3 there was only one boss, and most of the game just kind of felt like it just had weaker enemies, and then kind of stronger, and then very overpowered. But the bosses do manage to distinguish themselves with unique quotes and unique interactions, and their moves are very different. After defeating every boss you actually get a reward, which is their main weapon. I overall thought this new addition of the bosses, it was really cool, and I really hope that for the next Halo game, if there's even gonna be a next Halo, they should definitely keep it. Now the grapple shot with traversal and combat is honestly amazing. You can use a grapple shot to be able to grab weapons, literally grab some bomb things, and you're able to grapple onto other enemies and vehicles. For traversal, it's so smooth. You're able to grapple onto the ground, you're able to grapple into mountains, you're able to grapple into rocks. It just helps a lot when it comes to traversal in an open world. Now, for first-person shooters, I always wanted something like this to be added in, because when you're playing in a first-person shooter open world, honestly the whole world just feels really big. And because of the fact that it feels really big, you feel you're moving slow. The grapple shot is able to make you feel you're actually moving at a good pace. It just really makes you feel you're progressing through the game at a good rate, and you don't feel you're being slowed down by the big open world. Gunplay overall and the campaign and the multiplayer, it just feels really smooth. I really like the way that the impacts of the bullets is smart. The assault rifle has always been my favorite, even though in most games it's kind of one of the crappy weapons. In this game you can do some serious damage if you're able to use it properly. And also the sidekick is a big remark. In Halo, I never liked the Magnum for some reason. A lot of people think of the Magnum as their favorite weapon, but honestly I would prefer the sidekick a lot more than the Magnum. The sidekick just feels a lot faster, and honestly every single shot you're able to land it For the Magnum, I was not really able to feel like any of the shots were landing, which is the reason why I never used it. Every weapon actually feels like it does something, whether it be a gun that uses bullets or it be a gun that uses energy. Now for the visuals, I have a mixed opinion. The detail is great and everything, like you can see like bits of the armor. You can see bits of the armor to be very detailed. You can see the leather in Master Chief's glove. There's even a point in the game where you get to see the weapon's AI like pop up, and if you zoom in on her face, you don't lose any detail, like it just maximizes the detail. Nonetheless, I did have one complaint. Almost every part of Zeta Halo looks almost the same, in which is comprehensive because it's just one ring. Like obviously like the whole ring is gonna be like almost the same thing. But I would definitely have liked if the developers or the designers would actually make like a different biome. Halo 3 had a good variation of biomes where it had like a snowy biome, it had like a military type of like environment, and also it had like a forest environment. And some of the multiplayer maps even included like a desert biome. In Halo Infinite, almost everything feels the same, but honestly is not like a big complaint. They could have done more with the visuals. They could have done more when it comes to like the variety of biomes. Also, the style of everything is just kind of like very reminiscent of like the previous like Halo games. And I'm not talking about the Halo 5 or Halo 4. I'm talking about like Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, especially Halo Reach. The weapon designs are very similar to Halo Reach. The armor designs are actually very close to Combat Evolved and Halo 2. And the armor designs don't have that alien feel to them like they did in Halo 5. Everything just kind of looked weird, and now they actually look like some military type of equipment. Lastly, the multiplayer was my biggest disappointment. Now overall, the multiplayer is really good, but my one complaint is that when it comes to the variety of choosing your gameplay list, this game doesn't really give you that much. Now this was a complaint throughout the beta. But Halo Infinite just released, and the first thing I wanted to do was hop onto the multiplayer and be able to choose Slayer every time I play. But the game just didn't allow me to do that. They don't have it anymore for some reason. And honestly, for the multiplayer, this is just like my only complaint. Nonetheless, it is a very big complaint. Overall, this game is honestly great. I had lots of fun playing it, I had lots of fun playing the multiplayer, and honestly, it was not disappointing when it came to the campaign. Everyone in the Halo community has honestly been really happy for what 343 has done with this game, and honestly, we should support 343 for them to be able to do work like this. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, click that like button. For more upcoming videos, subscribe to our channel, and let us know what you think down below. I am Maverick from the Heroes Table, and we'll see ya on the next video.